9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday morning edition of the John DiVito Show, Sunday Morning Coffee. And I've got my coffee with me, and I made the cardinal mistake of not filling my coffee before I started the show. So here I am with a half-empty coffee. It's relatively warm. I'm going to have to fix this during the show at some point and get a brand new, nice, warm coffee. But here we are, Sunday morning in Massachusetts, and had a good weekend so far. It's been pretty laid back, pretty chill. I watched some football yesterday. I watched, of course, the night game and saw Baltimore go down to Buffalo and saw the other game as well during the afternoon. I'm a little more excited for some of the NFL football games today. You know, we've got Cleveland versus Kansas City, then, of course, Tampa Bay and New Orleans. So for me, I would love to see today Cleveland knock off Kansas City to see maybe Baker Mayfield win this year. And I'd also love to see Tom Brady keep it going. Of course, I'm a Patriots fan and enjoyed him in New England here for many years. It hurt to see Tom Brady head down to Tampa Bay, but I'm excited to watch him, play and hopefully find a way to beat Drew Brees tonight and the Saints. So, good weekend of football, kind of a chill weekend here in Massachusetts. And I'm looking here, I'm trying to see what the temperature is right now. Okay, it's pretty cold. It's 27 degrees Fahrenheit here in Massachusetts this morning, and we're going to get up to about 36 degrees. So, pretty typical Massachusetts day. And I'll tell you, last night we were home just kind of chilling, watching TV, and we got some really big news last night. We got a phone call last night that came in at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And, we don't normally get that many calls that late at night. And I'll explain what that call is in a little bit, but it was really just big news that we got last night. Got a phone call late at night, and it was pretty amazing. So today, what do we get going on? We get a lot of stuff going on today. We've got, like I said, we're going to watch a couple of football games. My son Ethan has baseball practice. My daughter has to work. My son has to work. So we'll have the Uber hat on again most of the afternoon, driving around to different events and things like that. So that should all be good. But I'll tell you, this has been, kind of a strange winter up here in Massachusetts. I mean, normally we get, quite a bit of snow in Massachusetts. And so far this year, we really haven't gotten, a lot of snow. And looking even at the 7-day forecast right now, here we are smack dab in the middle of January. And even on the 7-day forecast, we have no extreme cold. We have no snowstorms coming in. It looks like every day this week, Monday, a high of 35, Tuesday, a high of 33, Wednesday, 28, Thursday, 28, next Friday, 35. Next weekend, it's going to be in the 20s, but there's really no snow on the radar right now until maybe next Tuesday, which is kind of crazy. So it's been, one of those winters where we had a couple of snowstorms. I think we've had like 3. They were all decent sized snowstorms. So, maybe somewhere around a foot plus, but then it got warm afterwards and the snow melted. So when I look outside right now, we've got very little snow out on the ground. It is pretty much down to grass. And that's not too typical of New England at this time of year. So kind of interesting, kind of different, kind of strange, but it is what it is. But this still reminds me of the winter probably 10 years ago. I've talked about it before in my show, where we had, I think it was 10 feet of snow during the course of a winter. And most of those storms actually happened in February, not in the month, in the Monday time or the January time frame. So we had, like in February, one nor'easter after another that came up the coast and just absolutely pounded New England, just one after another. And we literally had like almost most of that 10 feet of snow happened in the month of February. So I'm kind of hoping we don't have that February coming up again. So we'll see. Got some big things happening this week in the country and for my family. This week for my family, we've got my kids, my two youngest are actually going back to school, which is going to be a good thing for them. My oldest, Matt, has been back in school doing remote school, and that's been kind of a good thing for him most of the year. They did have a break around Christmas time when one of the teachers came down with COVID, and my son Matt also got COVID from his teacher, but he had no symptoms whatsoever. He was completely healthy with no physical issues whatsoever. So he's back in school. My daughter homeschools through Tech Academy, which is the state public high school. So she does her homeschooling and she likes that. My youngest two, finally, after being out of school since last March, we're looking at almost a full year of them, being out of the school building. They're finally going back this upcoming Tuesday. So they're still doing, hybrid. They're going to be going to school 2 days a week, and 1 day a week they're going to be home, and the other 2 days a week they're going to be doing remote learning completely. But at least they get their 2 days a week back in school. But we were going through some of the notes of all the different things that they're going to have to do now that they go back. I mean, it's almost going to be like prison, where they have to wear their masks all day long. There's strict, like, single file entry into the building. And the one thing that I thought was just absolutely ridiculous is when they're eating lunch, they can take their mask down when eating lunch. However, they cannot even look to the side when talking to their friends. They have to all look straight ahead, literally straight ahead when they eat their lunch, because they can't have the COVID going to the side and infecting their friends. So can you imagine trying to enforce a bunch of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in sitting at lunch with no mask on and not looking at each other? They have to look straight ahead while they eat. I mean, come on. Who the hell is going to enforce that? And it's going to be almost impossible to make that happen. So, it's just kind of crazy, some of the regulations that are going to be happening as they go back to school. But I know that, my two youngest, I mean, they need social interaction. I mean, they miss their friends. They miss being in the school building. And I think it's hard for a lot of them to learn, remotely all the time, because they are just simply, not seeing the things that they need to see in person. They're not doing a lot of hands-on learning, at home. It's all done through the screen. So I think it's going to benefit my kids to get back into the school building. But hopefully at some point we find a way to get these kids back into school, get businesses open, because we've been at this now for almost a year. And I understand that COVID is a dangerous thing, and I understand that people feel that we need to lock down, but we cannot lock down indefinitely, forever. At some point we need to get back to life. We need to go out and live our lives and do the things that we've been doing. We need to get back to life as usual. I mean, we've got, vaccines coming out. There's, I think, 3 that are approved so far. One other good one that is coming out soon, Johnson & Johnson is unveiling their new vaccine, and it looks like their new vaccine is very effective. It's only one shot. There are very few side effects, and it will also protect against the new strains of COVID that are kind of happening throughout Europe and different places. So, exciting news to have these vaccines out. But, for me, for one, I've talked about it, with my family. I've talked about it for my wife. I'm one that has not enjoyed wearing the mask at all. And I do feel that 9 months of having to wear a mask has been too much. I feel that there are a lot of other things in the past that have happened that we haven't had to wear masks for. And I personally am really tired of the whole mask culture. So what's probably going to happen with me is once I get my vaccines, which I will do, and once I become vaccinated, then that's going to be it for me. The mask is going in the trash, and I am not going to wear it. And if I happen to go into a store and they do not want me to be in that store, because I'm not wearing a mask, then what I will do is I will leave that store and I will give my money to someone that will accept my money. If a store wants to exclude me from being a customer because I'm not wearing a mask, that's fine. But I am not going to wear a mask for the rest of my life. It's just not going to happen. It's a free country. In my opinion, it's unconstitutional. And, I'm glad that the government thinks that they know better than I do all the time. But for a disease that's basically, has a recovery rate of 99.7%, at a certain point, I think America has to get back to life. We need to take the damn masks off. We need to get back into restaurants. We need to get back into businesses. We need to be able to go to sporting events. We need to be able to have family get-togethers. There are things that we need to do in order to get back to normal life in our country. And once I'm vaccinated, that's it for me. I'm not wearing a mask anymore. And I'm sorry, but it's unconstitutional. If you want to find me, find me. I'm just not going to, get back into wearing a mask every moment of my life. So let me share with you now the big news that we got last night. And this was incredibly amazing. Now, I think a lot of you have heard the stories about my family. I'm a father of 4, and my oldest son, Matt, has autism. He has Tourette's syndrome. He has OCD, and he has struggled a lot in his life. When he was younger, he played sports, and it just wasn't his thing. He has tried a lot of different things, and most things have been very difficult for him. So over the last few years, my son finally found acting, and he's been in 10 plays, with his autism, and he started off small. Last December, he finally got a lead in a community play, Elf the Musical. He was Buddy the Elf, the Will Ferrell character in the movie, and he killed it. I mean, it was a musical. He was singing. He was funny. He got standing ovations for every show, and it was amazing. So about 6 months ago, we saw a casting call for a film being shot in Massachusetts by Netflix. The movie is called Don't Look Up, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Timothy Chalamet, Meryl Streep, and just a huge cast of very well-known actors. So we put Matt in to be, in one of the scenes in this movie. Is basically an extra, and we got a phone call from the casting company. So they ended up casting Matt back in November for a part in this movie. So my son and I went to COVID testing because we had to do that for the film to be in it. I came back, negative. My son, Matt, came back positive. Unfortunately, he was asymptomatic. He had got it from a teacher in school, and he ended up losing the role in the movie. He was devastated. I mean, it's not every day where you get a chance to be in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. So, he was so excited. People had supported him in the town, in the area we live in, but then he lost the role in the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. So I sent a couple emails over the last few weeks, and I sent one yesterday morning to the casting director, who is Judith Boulay is her name, from Netflix Casting. She's kind of a big deal, a big person with a big role in this movie for casting everybody. So, I'm sitting down with my wife last night. We're watching football, whatever. My phone rings at 10 o'clock last night, Eastern time, which is pretty uncommon in our house. So, I was a little annoyed at first, and I ended up looking down at my phone, and it was Judith Boulay Casting. And I was like, holy shit. So I answered the phone. She got on the phone, and she's, very colorful, definitely someone you'd expect to be in the movie business. And she says, "Hey, John, how you doing? This is Judy. Just wanted to ask you if you guys are all available for a video chat right now on your phone." And I said, yeah, that'd be sure. Absolutely. We can do it. So she ends up calling me on my iPhone. We did a chat through the iPhone, and she asked me a little bit about Matt, just saying, would he be available for certain dates? Could he do this? Could he do that? And I said, hey, we'll make it happen. He's 18 years old. This is a dream for him. He would love to do it. Absolutely. So she said, all right, you need to give your phone to Matt. So I gave my phone to Matt. Matt had like a 20-minute interview with Judy Boulay, who's the casting director for Netflix. And they ended up speaking for 20 minutes. They had a great phone call. She told Matt what an inspiration he was, because he ended up going viral back when he got that lead part in the play last December as Buddy the Elf. He was in the USA Today. He was on Boston news channels, Boston newspapers. He was all over the country on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, it really blew up into a big story. So she was saying, how impressed she was with him. She saw the story about him, on and on and on. And then she finally said, listen, what we'd like to do is we have a date we have for you in mind, and we're going to have another COVID test for you on February 4th. And then we'd like to have you on set on February 8th. And what he is going to do is he is going to be basically a Walmart shopper. There are only going to be 9 other Walmart shoppers in this scene. and he's going to be in this scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, and Jennifer Lawrence. So, I mean, this is going to be, they're all going to be like in a Walmart. Matt is going to be in this scene with only a few other people and the main stars of the movie. And it's just absolutely amazing where he's going to get this opportunity to live a dream when he's a kid that's had so many challenges. He's now 18 years old. He wants to go to college for acting. And this woman got on with us last night and literally spent an hour on the phone with us explaining all the different procedures, what's going to happen. She said that even the day in which he films, she's going to come to the set to meet him. And I'm guessing he's going to probably have a pretty good chance to meet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and, Timothy Chalamet, three of the main stars of the film, since they're in this scene with him. I mean, when you think of a person that has a really big job, and you think of a person that is just extremely busy, she lives in LA. She was saying that she's had 3 days off, and since September, she's been working 15-hour days every day. One day when we talked to her, she said she was going to the airport to pick up Meryl Streep to bring her to the set. I mean, she's got a lot of responsibility. And literally last night in her hotel room here in Massachusetts at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday, she went out of her way to call my family and to speak to my son and give him an opportunity to be in a huge movie that's going to be in Netflix. So keep that in mind. If any of you end up watching that movie, and Eric, how you doing? I'm doing a special Sunday morning show. I was just telling the story, Eric. I'm not sure how much you heard, but, my son Matt had lost his part in that Leonardo DiCaprio movie because he tested positive for COVID back in December. The casting director called us at home last night at 10 o'clock. And I'm not talking about an assistant. I'm talking about the head casting director from Netflix. Called me last night at 10 o'clock, did a video chat with my family, did a video chat with my son Matt, and they cast him to be on set on February 8th. In a scene where he's going to be in the scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and Timothy Chalamet. I mean, what an amazing night. What an amazing gift. She was kind. She spoke to all of my children. She spoke to my wife. She spoke to me. And just a nice, nice person who is literally like a big Los Angeles movie Hollywood person. And she went out of her way to be kind to our family, to be kind to my son. And she is going out of her way to get him into this film. And he's going to be in a scene where it's just going to be him, a few other people, and the main stars of the movie. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out, if he's going to end up, speaking to anybody, if he's going to be right next to the people in the film. I mean, you may see, my son right along with Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. And for those of you that are movie fans, which I am, I mean, I can't think of a better movie star in this world. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the best actors I think that exists on this planet. He's a guy that, when he was young, he could have lived off his looks. He's a handsome young guy, not as much young anymore, but he was a handsome young kid. He could have done the pretty boy thing and done well, with that career. But I mean, he is just one of the best actors of our generation. And my son is going to get the opportunity to be in a movie with him. And it's just absolutely humbling to think that that's going to happen. So I wanted to give just a quick shout out to Netflix. We've heard so many negative stories recently about Facebook, about Twitter, about censorship, about people, just not being good people in the media industry. We hear stories about newspapers and television stations, etc. Here's a story of a woman with a big job in Hollywood. Netflix casting director went out of her way on a Saturday night to call me and to speak to my son, to interview him for a movie, and went out of her way to get him in a huge Netflix movie that's coming out called Don't Look Up. So remember, when that movie comes out, look for my son, Matt. For those of you that have been coming into my show for the last, 10 months since I started this podcast, you've heard story after story about my family, myself, my wife, my children. I've got 4 of them, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. But Matt has been through such a difficult time in his life, and to see him finally get this opportunity is just an amazing feeling as a parent. And this is solely because of one person, because of Judith Boulay from Netflix Casting being kind, doing something that she does not need to do. She does not need to go out of her way when she's dealing with the Hollywood elite to call my small little family in the center of Massachusetts and to offer my son an opportunity to live his dream and to be in a huge movie with huge stars. I mean, we are just absolutely blown away. So here's a story of a person that's in Hollywood, that's a kind person, that has just done a good thing for a kid that has, had a lot of tough luck during his life and had a lot of difficult opportunities. So, for me, it's a great thing. I'm very proud of my son, very happy that Netflix is giving him this opportunity, and I can't wait to see him in the film. I mean, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully we get a good look at him in the film. That would be absolutely incredible. So, hey, got some other things going on this week. Man, it's a big week in the US of A. We'll see what happens. This upcoming Thursday, we have got, the big inauguration of Joe Biden, and I know a lot of people in this country are looking forward to that. You know how I feel. If you've been on my show, you know how I feel about all of that. And, I would love to believe all the conspiracy theories that are happening right now. I mean, there are a lot of people out there talking about how Trump has already signed the Insurrection Act. There's going to be martial law this week. Biden will not be the president. I've been reading all these different conspiracies on, the different platforms and things like that. While I would love to be for it to be true, I don't think probably anything's going to happen. I mean, I guess if we get that emergency broadcast signal today, that could all change. But my expectation for this week is that Biden is going to be inaugurated on Thursday. And, it is what it is. I mean, you get a lot of people on the right that don't agree with that. I'm one of them. I'm a person that's very disappointed. I do feel that the election was stolen. But, if Biden is inaugurated on Thursday, there's not a lot we can do about that going forward. And, I would imagine that if Trump has the evidence and Trump has the proof, then you may see, that Insurrection Act happen before he's inaugurated. But, who knows? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of conspiracy theories that we have, 25 or 30,000 troops in the Capitol. They're there for, supposedly the inauguration. Other people believe they're there because Trump is going to declare martial law. I guess we'll find out. I mean, no matter what happens this week, it's going to be an amazing week in America. It's going to be a week like we've never seen before in DC and across the country. I'm just hoping, and I really mean this, that if there are any protests across the country this week, if the right gets together, and I've heard stories that they're going to be protesting every Capitol House in America, in every city, just if you could, be peaceful. Don't be drawn into violence. Don't be drawn into, storming Capitol buildings. Don't be drawn into violence, because so many of us have been talking out against the violence that happened, this past summer with Antifa. And if we go out and we commit the same type of violence as a right-wing group of the Republican Party, then we're no better than what happened over the summer. So for the people that are out there demonstrating, bring your demonstrations, bring your flags, bring your Trump flags, bring your American flags, but be respectful. Don't trespass on government property. Have a peaceful show of force without violence, because a peaceful protest, in my opinion, packs power. But when you go out and you have a protest that incites violence, that gets people injured, then you completely lose your message altogether. So to me, if we're going to protest this week, protest peacefully. Don't go out and commit violence. Don't go out and do, terrible things that you're going to regret, you're going to get arrested for. And then it's also, when you go out and you commit those acts of violence, then it basically justifies everything the left has said. So if we're going to protest this week, people, be peaceful, be, humble, but be proud of who you are. I mean, be proud to be American, be proud that you supported Trump. Don't let anyone make you feel any different, but do not turn it to violence, because once you turn to violence, we've lost the battle. Okay. So I'm scrolling up a little bit. I see Erik is here. Welcome, Erik, to my Sunday morning show. And I see another COVID diagnosis I learned of over the weekend is our friend Jim Dwyer of the Free Think Institute organization, as well as honorary inductee into the VOP empire. Oh man. So please keep him in your prayers. So if anyone out there is listening to Jim Dwyer, he's got COVID. And Erik, does he have it seriously? I mean, is he doing okay? If you want to call in, Erik, give me a shout in and let me know how he's doing. I'd like to hear about how he's doing, and hopefully he's okay, because again, COVID has taken a lot of lives. It is a serious disease. And I know that, people like me don't like to hear about, all the different lockdowns we've had, the mask mandates, life changing like it has. And again, the truth of it is, I mean, there has been a lot of people that have gotten COVID, a lot of people that have died from it. We had one family member in my family. She was 90, but she did get COVID and she passed because of it. So there are a lot of people that have had, tough nights or tough times with COVID. So I see him, Erik, mentioning down in the chat. He lives in Massachusetts, so he's in my state. It's a mild case, which is good, but he's hospitalized. So it must be fairly serious if he's been hospitalized. So let's see, they're going to open it up when Biden gets in there and tell the doctors to shut up about it once he's president. I agree with you completely. I do agree. One thing I've said, Cummings, is that I understand and I agree that COVID is real. It is real. It is dangerous. It's taken a lot of lives. We do all know that COVID came from Wuhan, China. COVID has taken a lot of lives, but this was something that was created by the Chinese government. It was unleashed upon the world. And even though COVID is real, in my opinion, it is without question been used politically to get its agenda done. And that is get Trump out of office. It's been used to give the Chinese more power over the United States. I strongly believe that Biden and the entire left party is aware of this and they're working for it. And I do believe that once Biden is president and the vaccine is now out, you will very quickly see things return to normal. So I had just had someone call in. Hey, man, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. So what's up?
Not a whole lot. First time, long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
This is cliche.
It's funny now. I've been doing this for 10 months and I've been, obviously been a guy that's listened to radio for many, many years. And I've actually said that a few times calling into sports shows in Boston. That's the first time someone said that at my show. So I feel pretty honored that just came out. I like that because I've used that before.
Coming to you from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here you go. Go comments.
Now, whereabouts is Fort Wayne in Indiana? I used to work for a company that was based in Indianapolis, and I love Indiana. The nicest people on the planet live in Indiana. I really loved it there.
We love people.
Yeah.
We really do. Honestly, Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're about, what do you want to call it? It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Indianapolis.
Okay. So, I worked for this company for 10 years. So I went to Indianapolis quite a few times. And of course, being a Boston guy, of course, I had to go to Terre Haute and go to the Larry Bird restaurant museum, which was awesome.
Yeah, Larry Bird. Gotta love Larry Bird.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm an older guy, and I lived through the Bird era. I watched him play. My father had partial season tickets with some guys from work for the Celtics back in the day. So I went to a lot of games.
Nice.
And I'm sorry, LeBron James is a great player, but in my opinion, he's no Larry Bird. I'll take that.
No, absolutely not.
But definitely, Larry Bird was an amazing basketball player, great passer. Yep. And how old are you?
38.
Okay, so you're 38 years old. So you probably got, you may have seen Bird play live. I don't know. He probably would have been towards the end of his career.
Oh, man.
He was a guy. Bird, if he wanted to, Bird could have went out and scored 40 points a night. But he was a guy that came out.
Team player.
He made everybody on the floor better. His passing, he was an amazing
100% team player.
Rebound. He was amazing. He was just, and you talk about a guy that was just a clutch player all the time. For me, honestly, Larry Bird ruined basketball for me. I have not been a basketball fan since Larry Bird retired. It's just not the same.
Nor have I. And now it all starts again.
Yep. So now, what do you think about what's going on this week? I don't know if you're a political guy at all, but what do you feel is going to happen this week with Biden? Is there going to be an insurrection act? Do you think about any of that stuff? Do you care about it? What's your opinion?
I think about it. I care about it. And I'm worried. 100% worried. 100% worried.
Do you think
we are on high alert?
Do you think there's going to be martial law declared today? I've been reading a lot online. I've heard a lot of stories about we're going to get that emergency broadcast sometime tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, and we're going to go into martial law. Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think so. No, it's not going to happen. They couldn't do it. There's too many guns.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I would love to believe that that's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen either. I think, we've heard for the last few months about overwhelming proof, voter fraud. We heard about release the Kraken. We've heard about one thing after another. And I think this is going to be just another thing on that checklist that we would love to believe is going to happen if you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
but my feeling is Biden's going to be inaugurated. He's going to be president, and we've all got to learn to somehow or another learn to live with this over the next 4 years.
What's happened the past 4? Yeah, and what's happened the past 4 years? Everybody's been so high up. I mean, the government's going crazy, and everybody's just, all right, my shotgun's right beside the door. If there's a rise up, there's going to be a rise up. But the hillbillies are fucking dumb. Pardon my language. Pardon my language.
Okay.
I don't. Are you explicit or not?
We are. Yep. I swear all the fucking time. So go ahead. Bring it, brother.
All right. Well, fuck them. Well, fuck them motherfuckers twice. They don't get it. It's just these goddamn fucking hillbillies. Cocking their shotguns, thinking, really, they'll just bring a drone in.
I know that. I've thought about that a lot. I am a registered gun owner. I've got guns. I've got ammunition in the house. But again, the guns I have, are not going to last too long if I've got military coming down my driveway with AK-47s.
Yeah, exactly. What's your 16 gauge shotgun going to do against it? They're going to shoot you once.
I see Cummings' culture mentioned the Wuhan flu. Man, I don't understand. Go ahead.
I fucking hate it.
Yep.
I hate it. I fucking love the fact that you fucking brought that up. I'm going to bitch and moan for a minute, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Fuck a mask.
Yours.
Fuck a mask. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. I've had it. I was
sick. Control. It's about control,
Yeah.
And I don't think the mask is helping. I really don't. I think it's a way
it's not.
to control us.
It is 100%. And it's now you have to go get the vaccine. You should, at what point fucking time, sorry, Boogie Nights coming to you from here. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Get a shot. You'll be okay. Fuck a vaccine. I'm not putting everything you put in your body regulated by the FDA has to have a fucking ingredients label on it. What the fuck's in that?
What's true? I mean, that's what's scary, I think, about these vaccines is, I give Trump credit for. Oh, we got an echo there. All right, it's gone. So I give Trump credit for getting these the vaccines passed in a very quick amount of time.
Yeah,
but it is scary though.
World record time.
Oh yeah, but you don't know what the true long-term effects are going to be, or what the real side effects are going to be to something that is administered and has been tested for a very short amount of time. You don't know what's going to happen. A year down the road, 3 years down the road. Are there going to be negative?
Right.
Effects to all of us? I mean, we all hope not, but we really don't know. And the tests haven't lasted long enough to really know whether or not there are.
Get it out. Yeah.
Yep.
It's my friend, a friend of mine. I'm not going to say a name, anything like that. She's a healthcare worker. She works in the call center. She had no choice. It was like, if you don't take the vaccine, the first round, there's 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, my wife did also. My wife's in healthcare as well. She took her first shot with the vaccine, and she didn't have any side effects when she took the shot, other than a very sore arm for a couple of days, where she really couldn't even raise it over her head. It was very, very painful, but then that went away. So she is doing better, and she has her second round up. No one else in my family has had it yet, but she has. So we're hoping that it's gonna prevent her from getting it. But I mean, when you look at her also, she's been working for the last 10 months in the COVID tent, and she goes in there with all the body armor on, and it's hard to even get oxygen near her. She's so well covered. But I mean, she's been tested.
Yeah, that's just it.
She hasn't gotten it. She hasn't gotten it. And the thing that gets me is my oldest son, who I was talking about earlier. And for those of you that did not hear the story, a lot of people who come in new, my son is going to be on set on February 8th with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and Timothy Chalamet in a movie. We got the call last night from the casting agent. So I'll update you guys later on that as well. But my son, Matt, he was supposed to be in a movie back in November. My son has autism. He's an actor. He got a role in a film, and he went in for the test, and he was tested positive for COVID. So they basically bumped him out of the film, and he had no symptoms whatsoever, though. If he had not been tested, we would have never known he had it. He had no fever. He had no chills, no shortness of breath. He was asymptomatic completely. And, the thing of it is, though, none of the rest of us in the family got it. I mean, he was living with the other 5 members of his family. We're in the house without our masks on. We're hanging out together all the time. And I didn't get it. My wife didn't get it. My other 3 children didn't get it. So if this is such a disease that's passed so easily, why did none of the other 5 people in my family end up getting COVID from my son when we were living with him 24/7? I don't understand how that.
There you go. There you go.
And I see Wolf Real Talks Radio's comment, the fences are built with C-clamps backwards, trying to keep someone in, not out. Scientists from Wuhan warned of weak security measures, said that the virus stands a high chance of escaping, but they didn't listen. Once it escaped, they arrested the scientists for going public, saying they were warned. Well, my feeling on Wuhan is that it may have been, the virus may have had a very high chance of escaping, but I think they did it on purpose. I think that this was unleashed on the world. I believe it was as well. Oh, it was terrorism, in my opinion. Hands down. Yeah, they released it on purpose. They accomplished their goal. And I think, they were struggling economically. They wanted Trump out of office because Trump was killing them economically by bringing jobs back to the U.S. from China.
Guess what? Here we go.
Yep.
And before all this happened, if you look back, everybody's worried about nuclear warfare. I'm like, who's got the nukes? Who's got the nukes? Who's the terrorist? Who's the terrorist? And then all of a sudden, Trump comes back. He's in office, a businessman. What this fucking country needed.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
And then all of a sudden, somebody ate a bat that escaped. Really? I know exactly. Check out Barstool Sports. Donnie does. Check out that. He's the most accurate motherfucker. Pardon my language. Most accurate on it. Lived there. Angry.
I hate
so much anger going on right now.
And you see Wolf Talk down there talking about, Dr. Fauci, who is he's in my opinion, he's a shady motherfucker.
He's like a German. To me, he's like a fucking German. Like a fucking Nazi. And I hate not being racist at all.
Well, as Wolf Talk mentioned, he prophesized that there may be a pandemic soon back in 2017. And, I've been reading stories the last couple of days where, again, Fauci was someone that had said way back in the day that hydrochloroquine was a treatment for COVID. And it's proven in some countries where it has completely kept COVID in check. And again, if hydrochloroquine was approved by Fauci to go after COVID, why was Trump made to look foolish when he said he was taking that particular drug? And we all saw what happened when Trump ended up being exposed to COVID. I mean, he got on some medication and he was done. He was done in no time. I mean, he was back on the campaign trail. He was completely healed. And, I'm sorry, when I see what happened in Wuhan, China, we've talked about it on the show before, and people tried to say, well, it was released in the wet market down the street. We all, of course, knew that was bullshit.
Yeah.
There were 2 labs in close proximity to that wet market. What I'd like to say is China came out to us and said, oh, geez, it escaped. It was
sorry.
We know what Trump should do. Trump should have fired a couple of missiles, one at each of those facilities, and said,
I don't know about all that.
I hit the button accidentally. So the next time you guys have a mistake, I'm going to have a mistake also. I mean, it was obviously done. Yeah. They expected the world.
Maybe a couple of flyovers. I mean, we want to prevent World War III.
Right.
For sure. But
Well, I'll tell you, I saw one thing, and again, I know a lot of this stuff floating around the internet's bullshit right now. You know, I'm off Facebook, I'm off Twitter, and I refuse to use any platforms that are censoring the American people. So getting off of Twitter was hard because I communicated with a lot of my Podbean people via Twitter, but I canceled it. I got rid of Facebook. I'm done. I'm not going to support Zuckerberg. I'm not going to support Twitter any longer. I can't get on those platforms anymore, knowing that they completely suppress American speech and they're censoring only the right. They're not censoring the left. But the things that are going on in this country right now are crazy. But I did read some things over the weekend. There was one particular publication that I read, and they were saying that right now, they said it's almost definite that Trump is going to declare martial law either today or tomorrow. They were saying that China actually has troops in Mexico waiting to attack our country. And they were saying that that's why Trump went down to Texas and actually did it down there. So I don't know if any of this shit's true or not.
Why is Texas so great? Because
I wish
going back, no, you know, they got big spiders.
That's true. I fucking hate spiders, man.
Yeah, they have big ass spiders. They're tarantulas and shit.
Oh, fuck that.
It's 9/11. Let's bring that up.
Yeah, bring it up. Go. What do you get about 9/11? What are your feelings on what happened on 9/11?
Oh, well, I don't want to talk about that because it's pretty. I have friends that died not to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I mean, you know where I am. I'm in Boston, so the planes.
Yeah, I'm in Indiana.
The buildings in New York City came from Boston. Fortunately, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
That were on those planes, but there were a lot of people, obviously, that lived in my area that died on those planes, that crashed into those buildings. You know, New York City is only 3 hours away from Boston, so I knew a lot of people that lived in New York City. Yeah. And I remember one of the girls, one of my wife's very good friends, who was in my wife's wedding. Now, I got married 11 days after September 11th. September 22nd, 2001, our entire wedding party was flying in from all over the country. We had friends everywhere that had moved all around for their jobs and whatever else. So my wife and I had scheduled a honeymoon in Italy. We were going to fly into Venice. Nice. We were going to take the train from Florence, then on to Rome. We had to cancel our honeymoon due to 9/11. We ended up in Pennsylvania in the fucking Poconos for our honeymoon. I mean, again, compared to what was happening to the country, I wasn't at war. No one in my family died, so we felt fortunate. But, this is kind of funny. Now, think about this. Now, we were supposed to be in Italy. We ended up going to the Poconos in Pennsylvania. We went to a Caesars resort. I'm not sure if anyone here knows what those are, but in Pennsylvania at the time, anyway, you know, gambling was not legal. So the casino companies built honeymoon resorts you could go to, right? And they were hoping that eventually they'd have gambling. So we went to this resort. We booked it for literally 14 days because we were going to spend a fortune in Italy, and we took all that money and put it towards our honeymoon here. So we get into this place, all right, and we walk in the door of our room. The bed was a circle, okay, so it was a big circle.
Oh, nice.
Bed. They had mirrors on the ceiling. Rotate. Yeah, they had. It vibrated. There were mirrors in the room. We had a swimming pool in our room. We had a hot tub in our room, and it was funny. The mirrors on the ceiling. I guess I was a young guy at the time. They didn't really bother me, but the only time the mirrors really bothered me was first thing in the morning. You'd wake up and you'd look up and you'd see yourself on the ceiling looking back at you, and it would literally scare the piss out of me every morning. You're waking up in with a mirror on the ceiling. You look up and you're like, Jesus.
Who is this guy?
Exactly. So the funny thing is, the first night we're there, we go to dinner. And again, we're kind of bummed. We're like, fuck, we were supposed to be in Italy. We were going to see the Colosseum. Now we're in Pennsylvania. So we go to dinner the first night. We get to the dining hall. The dining hall was a cheesy replica of the Colosseum. So we see that and we're like, oh my fucking God, are you kidding me? So we end up going in, and the rule was at this place, you're on your honeymoon, but they would seat you with every other couples for every meal. You couldn't sit by yourself. So here you are. You like to have like a romantic dinner, and you're sitting with 8 other people you don't know. And
it's Amish country.
Right. It is Amish country. That was kind of, definitely we saw a lot of Amish people, a lot of deer in Pennsylvania. I remember that in the Poconos as well. But I remember that I think it was like the third night they tried to sit us with other people. We were like, fuck this. We went and sat at our own table. And literally the guy came over and goes, excuse me, but you can't sit at your own table. I said, listen, we're on a fucking honeymoon. I want to sit at our own table. This is where we're going to sit. And once we did that, other couples started doing the same thing. So we created like a, anarchy.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
anyway, yeah, I mean, 9/11, man. I give my friends a lot of credit. I had good friends that got on airplanes literally, 9 or 10 days after September 11th and flew cross country to be at our wedding. And I think
you were in Pennsylvania.
What's that?
You were in Pennsylvania.
Well, I grew up in New Hampshire, so the wedding was in New Hampshire, and we ended up moving our honeymoon from Italy because we couldn't go. We were afraid we were going to get over there and then be shut down and we couldn't get back. So we ended up rescheduling it to Pennsylvania in the Poconos. And I mean, we had a good time. We made the best of it. And we certainly didn't have any family members that died. But I'll tell you, what I've got in my office here at home right now, I kept all of the newspapers from those days for like a week after September 11th. So if you go back, the day it happened, the day after it happened, I've got the Boston Globe, I've got the Boston Herald, I've got the USA Today. I've got all those newspapers that I saved that are now, almost 20 years old in my office, where you can go back and look at all the stories and the things that happened. Now, do you remember after September 11th, after the attacks happened, do you remember a few days later, there was another airplane that blew up? I think it was over Brooklyn or Queens or wherever.
It crashed into a house, and the only person that was in the house at the time had died.
They kind of
that was in November of that year.
That had to be
It
had to be part of it.
Hey, Boogie.
Hey, Boogie, you still there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me,
I just said hi to Eric.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Eric, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about Jim Dwyer. You were saying he's got COVID. He's in the hospital, so it must be
I think he wound up finding out last weekend that he had it, but because he had suffered some shortness of breath, but he's been hospitalized. But when I last talked to him on a Zoom call, he seemed like he was in very good spirits. But he didn't have the kind of COVID where you lose your smell and taste.
Right.
But hopefully he makes a full recovery.
I know, Eric, you've seen, on social media, I post sometimes my kids playing baseball. The guy that teaches my son's hitting, he's a young guy, probably about 40 years old, kind of young, in good shape. He played college baseball. He ended up getting COVID and ended up in the hospital. And his name's Coach Mack, we call him. He's a great guy. And the thing with him, man, Jesus, he was texting me from the hospital because he was terrified, and he knows that my wife's in healthcare. So I was asking my wife questions for him. But he had this doctor, okay? This doctor came into his room. Now imagine this. Imagine, you have a limited knowledge of, what COVID is, like I do. I mean, I'm not an expert in COVID by any means whatsoever. You end up with COVID. You hear all the people that are dying. You're in the hospital, okay, like he is. And the doctor
on a ventilator.
Well, one of the first things the doctor says to him is, he goes, "Can you give me your wife's cell phone number? Because there's a chance that you're not leaving this hospital. You could die, and we want to be able to communicate with your wife in the event that happens." The guy's like, he's a young father, 2 kids. He's just writing me. He's like, "Holy shit, am I going to die, John? This is what, this is what the doctor's telling me." So my wife, had us ask him a bunch of questions. His oxygen levels had dropped. But as my wife said to him, was like, "No, you're not in any form of danger whatsoever." But the doctor literally on a day-to-day basis was telling him his life was in danger. And the poor guy was a nervous wreck. And we saw him. He's now out, back giving hitting lessons again for baseball. And we saw him, and he said point blank, he has PTSD from his experience in the hospital where he thought he was going to die. I mean, he was posting things on Facebook, like, posting pictures of his 2 sons. "My 2 sons are my life. I love my children." You could tell that in his mind, he thought he was going to die because of what this irresponsible doctor had said to him. And I mean, I get that some doctors have no bedside manner, but Jesus Christ, I mean, have some compassion in your heart when you're talking to somebody, so I don't know, just kind of crazy stuff. But I see Wolf Talk Radio is comment up there. That was, I think, a quote from Dr. Fauci. Hydrochloroquine is effective in preventing the spread of SARS, COVID in cell culture. Favorable inhibition of virus spread was observed when the cells were either treated with chloroquine prior to or after SARS-CoV infection. In addition, the indirect you're testing me, man, on this vocabulary. In addition, the indirect immunoresistance, that was a tough one, described herein represents a sample and rapid method for screening SARS-CoV antiviral compounds. So, I mean, it's true. It seems like we certainly had other things out there that we're able to treat COVID. And man, think about the amount of money. I mean, Johnson & Johnson's coming up with a new vaccine. You got Moderna. You got all the different companies. They're making billions off of this, making a lot of money off of a vaccine that's for a disease that, yes, is more deadly than the flu, but you could make a comparison that it's fairly similar to the flu in some ways, you know?
Yeah, 1918, all that, everything else. And then the Johnson baby is what I was kind of laughing about. That's
Look at my favorite name has entered the chat. I see that Big Cock has entered the live studio. So Big Cock, welcome. And I'd like to know if that name is actually true, or are you just kind of fronting a little bit and pretending? You know, so I'd like to know a little bit more about Big Cock. You know, it was funny. I actually talked about this yesterday at the beginning of my live. I'm not sure if anybody heard this, but my son Ethan, who is 14 years old, comes up to me out of the blue and it says, "Hey, Dad, I was looking up some research on which countries in the world have the largest penises." And of course, seeing Big Cock in there reminded me of this. So my son said, "Do you realize in the country of Cameroon in Africa, the average penis size is 7.5 inches, where one of the provinces in Asia, the average penis size is 3.8 inches." So here's my 14-year-old son. I'm like, "Oh, dude, good for you doing research, man." You know?
numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the weather worse.
It is. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the live show. So we're just having kind of a laid-back Sunday morning coffee version of the show. So, Erik, as you know, I took some time off this week, and it really wasn't done on purpose. I hadn't planned on taking time off. But
you had to schedule Brian and Rebecca's interview again, right?
I know. You know what happened on Wednesday? I had to write him privately. I literally had 4 Zoom meetings pop up for work on Wednesday. One of them was like 2.5 hours in the afternoon, right at the same time of his show. So I wrote him privately, and he did get back to me and understood. And that's the second time I've had to cancel Brian. So I feel bad that I've had to do that, and hopefully I can reschedule that interview. But for me, you know, one of the things that happened to me, now some of you may have heard my show from last Saturday. I had Chris on from Agape Boarding School, and we had him on for almost 2 hours talking about the different abuses that he's had. And honestly, when I do those shows, literally for like 2 or 3 days afterwards, I don't even want to touch Podbean. I just feel tired, worn out, just sad for all the things that these kids have gone through. So when I do those shows, man, it's just draining. I don't know how people do that on a regular basis, talking about things like that. I mean, I feel good that I can help some of the people from Agape and Circle of Hope, but man, it hurts to do those shows when you hear some of the abuse and some of the terrible lives that people have had, you know, because of having like shitty parents and, you know, all the different things that are out there. It's just, you know, fucking sad to hear some of those things. So, yeah. So,
well, we're looking forward to the censorship, shadow ban free podcast platform, VOPUSAradio.com, going live hopefully very soon with the downloadable apps.
Now, see, that's kind of what I'm waiting for a little bit also, because you know what I tried to do over the week. You know, I've had Jeremy from Cummings' Culture telling me I need to, you know, do video. And again, like I've said over and over again, I've got the perfect face for radio. So I'm not sure if anybody wants to see my ugly mug on a daily basis. You might lose your appetite. But I guess at some point I will
feel the same way.
And do that. But with the app, I think it's going to be a good thing. You know, I'm looking forward to the app because I do some shows through the app, and it'll be good for people to be able to call in through that app. So my contract, as you know, with Podbean comes up in March. So at that point, I'll probably explore VOP a little bit more closely. I've been kind of letting them get that thing off the ground also. And, you know, if there are any bugs, work out the bugs and things like that. And I figured at that point, you know, that's when I would probably make my transfer over. But, you know, I've got to say, you know, for me, Podbean's been a good thing. I mean, I've been here now since last March. You know, I'm not on regularly, but I've had over 10,000 people listen to my show live. I've got 20,000 downloads on the different platforms. Yeah. I mean, literally at this time last year, a podcast wasn't even in the back of my mind. And here I am a year later. And, you know, I think for, you know, 1 year of doing a podcast, I'm kind of happy with the results I've gotten. And if it hadn't been for Podbean, I wouldn't have met so many of the different people that I've gotten over the last year as well. So that's been a positive thing. You know, that's been good.
May I add something to that?
Yeah, go right ahead. Sure.
I think this whole COVID thing, sorry about the language.
Go ahead. It's okay.
COVID, I believe, made a lot of people get together and join something and make something move forward. whatever the case may be.
No, I mean, I agree. One of the things I've talked about here, on Podbean quite a bit, if you look at even just this show, it's a quiet, chill Sunday morning show. I know that on Podbean, it's mostly religious shows on Sunday mornings. We've got you, Boogie from Indiana. We've got Erik from Georgia. We've got me from Massachusetts. I mean, the three of us would have never met. We would have never talked. We would have never been able to talk about our lives. And Podbean's given us that opportunity to meet people from all over the country and all over the world, which is amazing.
I would like to apologize to Erik. Erik's boosted me through this a lot. And my old cousin, drunken shit, you know him, a 30-pack man. You know what I'm talking about, Erik?
I know who you are, but you shouldn't have to apologize for him. He's got to apologize for himself.
Yeah, he does. But, oh, man, he and I, we started a show. Erik pretty much coached me. Erik, you coached me through it.
Erik's awesome. He really is. Erik is just awesome.
And, but as far as he and I go, we're not together anymore, if that makes any sense.
Well, you've got other friends you'll have on your show.
Yeah. And Forsaken is back. Those things are going well, I believe, so far. And,
I mean, with the podcast, and I don't know if I've been in your show. If not, let me know when your show is because I'll pop in. But I think with the podcast,
I've not done one for about a month.
Okay, so it's been a bit. With the podcast, I mean, people need to realize that none of us are professionals. This is a hobby for most of us. Maybe someone will end up with a big show out of it. But I mean, that's not how I look at it. And we're all going to make mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes about going down maybe the wrong path and trying different things. Some things do work, other things don't work, and you learn. We all learn. So I think we've all made mistakes, during our podcasts, and I mean, those things happen. That's part of life. But I think if you learn from whatever mistakes you make, and then try to make your show better going forward, that's all any of us can do. Because we all screw up. I mean, I have certainly many times with different subjects I probably shouldn't have touched or done, and it's all a learning process. And it's funny the Podbean community is a very small community. And if you make a mistake or you say the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing, the word gets around pretty quickly and you end up losing people.
No, it does.
It does.
Well, like back in December, there was like an episode where even Homeboy and J Baby swear the old man dropped the F-bomb, but he listened to the playback and it was determined he didn't drop the F-bomb, but because of that, he got record downloads on that show.
I believe he did.
No way.
The old man is such a good guy, and he's not a guy.
I love that dude. I was jamming out. He was playing some Indian music earlier.
Yeah, he does his Hindi pop hits hour on Sunday mornings and the classical music hour later.
He's awesome. It's funny. I had a guy reach out to me. I have a separate LinkedIn page for my show, and I had a guy reach out to me last night that apparently has his own album. And he does like bluegrass music. I honestly don't even know what bluegrass music is. I live in New England.
I think that may have came out of Kentucky.
Yeah, he wants me to play his album. I was like, I don't even really know what bluegrass is, but fuck, I'll play it. I don't care. I'm gonna play your album. So I don't know if it's good or not, but I may play it for him.
I can speak to bluegrass.
Okay.
It's pretty Christian-y.
Okay.
It's 100% how can I describe it? I used to be a part of it. Not a part of it, but I'd do the chicken cookouts and there'd be a bluegrass band playing at the church. And they just...
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever heard it. If I have, I don't think I knew what it was at the time. But I might play it. What the hell? The guy reached out to me, and it doesn't hurt me to put it on the air. And if people like it, cool. They'll buy his music, and if they don't, whatever. So I thought it was cool that he reached out to me. So I was like, yeah, I'll play it. Why not? I'll give it a go for you. So at some time I'm going to have like a bluegrass show, and I'll probably interview him at the beginning to let him talk about his album. I guess he wrote everything himself and does all the music himself. Yeah. And he sings, and for me, even if it maybe isn't something I'm totally interested in, I always appreciate anybody that's good at anything. I mean, I always look at if someone is a football player, an actor, ballet dancer, hip hop artist. I mean, if you're good at something, to me, I'm always impressed by someone that takes whatever they're good at to the next level and becomes great at it. So, I mean, if he created all this and it means something to him, I'll put him on. We'll see. I mean, it may not be something I like. Maybe I will like it. Who knows? I'm still trying to. I'm a New England guy, and I'm not sure if you've ever been to New England, Boogie, but New England,
absolutely.
Yeah, country music is not a big thing up here. So I'm trying to learn more about country music. You know who I do like? And again, keep in mind, I know almost nothing about country music because in New England, it's just not a thing. But I started listening to Toby Keith a little bit. I like Toby Keith a lot.
I was hoping you'd say Garth Brooks, but
how about this? Now, this shows you, all right? This shows you how bad things are in New England when it comes to country music. I don't know if I've heard more than 1 or 2 Garth Brooks songs in my entire life, and I'm 53 years old. Think about that.
Well, when the thunder rolls, you'll figure it out.
Well, all right, let me ask you this question now. If you're a country guy, Eric, I don't know if you're a country guy being in Georgia. But if you could give me 5 country artists that I need to listen to, and I'm going to listen to them and see if I like them. So if you could give me 5.
I'm going to grab it.
I would probably say Trisha Yearwood, and I would say Rhea McEntire, Brooks, Alabama, and maybe legendary artists who are no longer with us, like Waylon Jennings and Patsy Cline, and I'll even throw in a 6th one, Conway Twitty.
That's what I need to do.
Conway Twitty.
I need to be better with my country music, man, because I mean it's such a big part of the whole country, and New England just doesn't. I don't think New York really does all that much either. I'm trying to look at I just downloaded a bunch of songs. I downloaded a song by Alan Jackson, which I liked a lot. Toby Keith, I've got a few of his songs on here now. Who else do I have? Not really too much other. Of course, I like Carrie Underwood because she's hot. So anything that she sings, I'm
sexy girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sexy.
I want to go see her concert and be in the front row. I may never leave.
I'll be in the back row. I prefer the back row.
Oh man. Yeah, so if you have those, Boogie, if you have 5 people you'd recommend, I'm going to write these names down, and I'm going to start learning country music because I need to be more in tune with country music. Because I mean, up here we just don't listen to it. It's just not a part of life in New England. I mean, the rest of the country can't be wrong. I mean, literally, like the 6 states of New England, New York and New Jersey, don't listen to country music. Everybody else does. So it's going to be us. We're the ones that are missing out, man. I don't know. Kind of crazy stuff, but. Boogie, you a football fan at all? Do you like football?
Football? Yeah. Colts fan.
Oh, you're a Colts fan. Okay. Colts had a good season. What do you think's going to happen today? Do you think Cleveland has a chance of beating Kansas City, or is Mahomes going to destroy Mayfield?
I'm giving it Kansas City.
I am too, unfortunately. I'd like to see Cleveland win.
Yeah. I would too.
Browns. I mean, the Browns are so screwed over by, what's his face when he moved the team to Baltimore. I'd love to see Baker Mayfield win, but I don't know if they can beat Kansas City. And then, of course, tonight I'm rooting for Tom Brady, my guy from New England, down in Tampa.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Beat the Saints, but I don't think he's going to beat the Saints. What's that? Are you not a Tom Brady fan?
Deflategate.
I know. Most of the country, I realize, is not a Tom Brady fan. But for me,
he's a crybaby. He's a freaking crybaby. I'm not allowed to cuss. I talk the way I like to.
You can cuss. I don't care, man. I get explicit on my show.
Well, fuck him twice.
Tom Brady. I mean, now this has nothing to do with football. Tom Brady. I mean, honest to God, what the hell did this guy do?
Here's the deal. He's the greatest fucking quarterback ever. He is.
Well, what did he do to deserve
he sucks.
all the gifts he's gotten in this world? I mean, think about this. Tom Brady, great looking guy, and I can admit that. I'm not gay, but
add a girl. That's all I gotta say is add a girl.
Yep.
You're a great looking guy. Add a girl.
He's got Giselle, the most beautiful underwear model in the world, that is also makes $300 million a year. Is his wife. And it was funny. Now, this is a little private story. Now, this is funny, kind of inappropriate, but funny. I have a lot of friends here in Massachusetts that are in the Boston sports media. Okay. So one of them, he's a funny guy. We were out having a few beers one night, and he goes, I was in the Patriots locker room the other day, and he said, You'd like to think that maybe Tom Brady wasn't gifted everywhere, but let me tell you, Tom Brady was gifted in every way whatsoever. So I guess Tom Brady could live in Cameroon. Apparently, Tom Brady has been blessed in every way. So he's been.
What you're saying is what you're saying. Tom
Brady's packing some heat, apparently. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
so, and again, right now on Podbean, you have the options of listening to religious shows or to listen to John DeVito talk about penis size on his show. So I'm not sure if I'm really doing
John DeVito, penis size, what matters? I was twisting some bratwurst the other day. And I took it to my fucking boss. I was like, hey, and she's a lady, 60-year-old lady, runs a whole store. And I said, hey, what do you prefer? And I had a little teeny one left over and a big one I bursted. She said, well, for 30, she's divorced as fuck for the past 4 years, something like that. She says, well, for 30 years, my husband told me it was like that, but it was really like that. I was like, yeah, it's Tom Brady.
Well, this is funny. I actually, when my son told me about penis sizes in Africa, I decided to look up penis sizes from
penis size in Africa.
Oh yeah, Cameroon is in Africa, and he was telling me all about how they have the biggest penis sizes in the world. So I looked up penis sizes across the world. Okay, so they on the list, they have them in different groups. Okay, Group 1 is from 3.8 inches to 4.6 inches. The smallest sizes in the world are China, 4.3 inches, India, 4 inches, Indonesia, 4.6 inches, Iran and Iraq both coming in at 4.5 inches. But the smallest, and this is probably Kim Jong-il, North Korea, they come in at an average penis size of 3.8 inches. That's average. So, for me, I guess if I ever want to move to North Korea, I'll be considered huge in North Korea.
Right? You'd be married immediately.
Exactly, right? You'd be like a fucking hero over there, like a porn star or whatever else. So they've literally got Group 2, which has places like, let's see, let me go on the list here. So Group 2 has places like Afghanistan, Algeria, Canada, sorry for Canada, Portugal, Romania. Let's see, Group 3. Where's the U.S.? I haven't seen the old U.S. of A yet. Okay, Zimbabwe is in Group 3.
Well, 6 inches. I know what 6 inches looks.
I don't even see the U.S.
That's where the U.S. says.
Because
we know what 6 inches is.
Yeah, looking across. I mean, they're in Group 4. These are the big boys. We've got Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, the Congo, the Czech Republic, Ecuador, Ghana, Haiti, Hungary, Jamaica, Lebanon, Panama, Peru, Puerto Rico, Sudan, and Venezuela. So if you're looking to live in a country with the biggest penises in the world, by average, those are the countries. So, yep, we've gone downhill on a Sunday morning. We're now talking about penis size on the John DeVito show.
Yeah.
We've gone downhill in a hurry.
And Ecuador. Have you ever noticed, like, when you speak with somebody?
Hey, now, Eric, did you hear my story about Matt earlier in the show? Were you on when I told the story?
I was here for that. I was just muted because I was putting some dirty dishes in the dishwasher.
Did you hear my story about Matt? What happened last night?
He was able to get in that movie.
Yep. Well, he was, my son Matt has autism, as a lot of you know. There's new people coming in, so I'll mention the story again. And if you're in, please share my live. I'd really appreciate it. My son Matt has autism. He's been in 10 plays. And Matt last night, he was supposed to be in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie back in November, but he ended up testing positive for COVID. So he lost his role. He was very disappointed. So last night, 10 o'clock at night Eastern time, we get a call from Netflix's head casting director on my cell phone. I'm like, holy shit. So I answer the phone, and she asked right away, John, do you have an iPhone? Can we do like a FaceTime? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we hit the FaceTime last night, and she's on. This is Judith Boulay from Netflix Casting. She asked to speak to Matt right away. So she had my son Matt on for a good, 15, 20 minutes, asking him all kinds of questions, talking to him about his acting. And then she goes, all right, let me speak to Dad again. So she gives the phone back to me, and she said, okay, this is what we want to do. February 4th, we're going to have him come back in for his next COVID test, which he's going to pass. And then on February 8th, he is going to be on set. It's going to be filmed at a Walmart in Attleboro, Massachusetts, which is south of Boston, right near where the Patriots play in Foxborough. So they're going to have him on set. He's going to be a Walmart shopper with 9 other people. And he's going to be in a pretty exclusive scene with 3 of the main stars. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and Timothée Chalamet are all going to be in the scene with Matt. The casting director said she was going to come over to the set and see Matt, and then also most likely give him a chance to meet all the stars if they don't say hello to everybody when they're acting. He's going to get some time to meet Leonardo DiCaprio and everybody. And my point earlier in the show was, we've heard a lot of negatives over the last week about Facebook, about Twitter, about censorship, about big media. The good news is there are people in big jobs, in big places that have hearts and have good people. So for anybody out there, if you watch Netflix, Judith Boulay is their casting director. She is a big person with a big job in Los Angeles. She went out of her way to be on the phone with my family for like an hour last night at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night so she could give a young man with autism a chance to be in a movie. And I mean, this woman even said, she's on the phone with us at 10 saying she had 2 more hours of work to do. She's had 3 days off since September. So she's been working nonstop on this, and she can't wait to get home to Los Angeles just to take a break. But I mean, this woman went out of her way to make a difference in my son's lives. So hats off to Judith Boulay from Netflix Casting. Hats off to Netflix. You did a great thing last night, and my son is going to get to live out a dream on February 8th, where he's going to be on set with the greatest movie star on the planet, in Leonardo DiCaprio, in my opinion. So I wanted to share that show to everybody out there. Everybody deals with different things in their life. My son has autism. He's had a rough go of it for many years. But just remember, if it's you that maybe is struggling in your life for whatever reason, if you have a family member that's struggling, if you have a family member that has challenges, anything is possible for anybody out there. Anybody. You need to wake up every day, just give it your best, and hold out hope that even if you have things in your life that are difficult, that are challenges that other people don't have, set a goal, just believe in your goal and keep going after it, because you never know when something's going to happen. Like, Erik, I hope you don't mind me talking about you a little bit, but I know that you've talked about pretty publicly that you have autism. And I think that's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well, because I feel you. And I feel what you've been through because I've experienced it with my son since the day he was born. And for you, man, look at what you do here on Podbean and VOP Empire, man. You are literally, and I don't say this joking, I don't say this being funny, you are literally the ambassador of Podbean and the VOP Empire. In my mind, any company would be happy to have you and lucky to have you as a person that promotes podcasts and does what you do. You're very good at it. And I think you've kind of found your niche with this COVID thing, because this is something that, any employer would be lucky to have you in this capacity and paying you money to promote their platform.
Well, and I think, like our friends at the Free Think Institute, of course, I know we're keeping Jim Dwyer in prayers, of course, but that hopefully he makes a recovery from his COVID dilemma. I know me and James were fortunate enough to have him and other colleagues of his come on the Slightly Serious show back on November 30th, which was a great show. And I even had this idea because one of their members, Arch Kennedy, is a former TV weather forecaster in Southeast TV markets like Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, and Macon, that I think they would be great at podcasting. And I suggested the idea to them, and me and James have been in talks with them as well. And hopefully they're going to be where they can meet, VOP USA Radio's Dan Spiriglio at some point. But since they've already expressed interest in it, we're definitely looking forward to having, more diverse voices on that network, because this is like a LGBTQ conservative organization that will also accept non-LGBTQ members. And we would also like to help recruit some female members for this organization as well.
That'd be good too.
Because they're all about free thought and free speech and basically, breaking stereotypes that LGBTQ are supposed to toe the Democrat Party line and narrative, and we also most of all want to break the stereotype that political correctness being the new norm. That I like the VOP slogan is the place where free speech thrives and political correctness dies.
Oh. I mean, political correctness is a mask for censorship. I've been saying that for many, many years.
Yes.
And if you think about it,
I agree.
Going back 10 years ago, I mean, you probably all remember I mean, in this country, we were not allowed to say Merry Christmas anymore in this country. I mean, it was made taboo that if you said Merry Christmas in a public place, it was almost like you were committing a crime. And for me, if someone
happy holidays,
crazy, right? Yeah, for me, if someone walks up to me and says Happy Hanukkah, hey, Happy Hanukkah right back at you. I'm not Jewish. I'm not offended by that. And I made this comment a couple weeks ago. I live in the center of Massachusetts. The city that's closest to us is Worcester. It's the second biggest city in Massachusetts.
Worcester.
Outside of Massachusetts, they say Worcester, but it's actually Worcester, or as locals say, Worcester. So that's what a lot of Massachusetts people will call it. But when I drove through Worcester right before Christmas, there's this big rotary. And if you're not from New England, you may not even know what a rotary is or a roundabout. We have these circular things in the middle of traffic where traffic exits the circle in all different directions, and you have cars coming in from all different directions in these circles. We call them rotary. I know in some places in the country they don't have these, but there's this
roundabouts. We call them roundabouts.
Yeah, roundabouts. So we have a lot of those here. Right in the middle of the roundabout, there's a big grassy area with bushes and trees, and there was a giant menorah right in the middle of that. All lit up. I'm driving through Worcester, and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. I thought it was beautiful. And I think it's great that people from different cultures can celebrate whatever they celebrate, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Kwanzaa, whatever it may be. Festivus, if you're a Seinfeld fan, you can put up the Festivus poll.
Feats of strength.
Yeah, feats of strength. The Festivus celebration ends when you can wrestle the homeowner down to the ground and beat him into submission. The Festivus pole instead of a Festivus tree. I mean, I could celebrate Festivus. It seems like a good holiday for my family. But
it's Festivus for the rest of us.
Right, Festivus for the rest of us. But I mean, that's the whole thing. Censorship. We're a country that's founded on free speech. We have freedom of speech. And again, freedom of speech doesn't mean you can go out and say whatever you want with no consequences. I mean, if I walk into my place of work and I start throwing out racial comments and comments about people's sexuality, I mean, I'm probably going to get fired. I mean, I have the freedom to say it, but I'm probably going to get punished by the private entity that I work for. But I mean, we still in this country need to have the ability to have the freedom of speech. And, I get that places like Twitter and Facebook and places like that are private entities, but they're much more than that now. I mean, these big social media platforms are not just private entities. They are major broadcasting platforms that report the news, report social events, and when they limit one side and they favor the other side, I mean, they influence America, and they cannot be allowed to continue to censor the American people, in my opinion. That's just where I'm at. And that's why I'm off Facebook and Twitter. I say fuck them both. Fuck Jack Dorsey and Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah. Well, you're probably better off going to more like censorship and shadow ban free platforms that are more free speech friendly. In other words, like MeWe and Clouthub and Gab and Parler, in the event that Parler ever comes back.
Yeah, out of the three kind of Facebook replicas, like Parler, I did enjoy, and I think Parler will probably be back. But I mean, if we're going to be honest, I mean, Parler was completely right wing. There was no balance on that platform whatsoever. I don't agree with them being shut down, but I was on it, and I mean, everything was right wing on there. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That should be allowed to be published. Now, as far as the three Facebook replicas, I mean, there's MeWe, there's Clouthub, and then there's Spreely. I think the way I look at them, Spreely, to me, if you're on Facebook, it looks just like Facebook. It's like a carbon copy of Facebook, but it's really.
I get it. Honestly,
and of course, Parler is an equivalent of Twitter, of course.
Right. What were you going to say there, Boogie?
I apologize. I've had a Facebook account since 2009.
Yeah,
and
I had
in the past month, I've been on there.
I had no interest in signing up for Facebook.
Yeah. You know what you can do?
Probably don't have a plan to at this point.
Yeah, the only thing I was worried about on Facebook, because like you, I've been on it for 10 years, and I had so many pictures of my children on Facebook. But when you go to cancel the account, which I did, I deactivated my account.
Yeah.
There's an option where you can download all your photos. So I have like a Google Cloud photo drive on my phone and my iPad. It took me like probably a good 8 hours to download all the pictures, but I downloaded all the Facebook pictures I've had over my entire 10 years into my cloud account. And then, when I deleted my Facebook account, I don't feel like I missed anything. I've always been worried about losing all those pictures, but now I have them on my cloud. And, honestly, I've been now 2 weeks without Facebook. I've never been happier. I'm not drawn into the political debate. There's nothing but hate.
No, and that's all Facebook turned into. Everything. Instagram.
Yeah.
As I get on there just to look at chicks. Honest.
Well,
I'm not. I'm not an OnlyFans. I don't pay for it.
But
I don't know what you mean by that.
And another reason why we're hard at work trying to get the VOPUSARadio.com platform fully up and running is because like our friends like Dan and Carrie and Elias, they have dealt with censorship, not during their short time here on Podbean, but they dealt with it when they were over on Blog Talk. Yep. And then I know Cummings has had, his show get kill switched in real time that me and James on the Slightly Serious Show have bared witness to, and even Mr. A witnessed it as well.
That's crazy.
And then Dennis Lee's had the issue with his audio going out midway through the show to the point that he would have to, cancel a live and then start up a new one, and then he'd have to edit the shows together to where it could all be published as one episode and not in multiple episodes.
Oh, Eric, I got to ask you a question. Put it out there to see if anybody else had this happen. Yesterday, I did 2 music shows. And when I do a music show, what I generally do is I'm not like the old man. I don't sit by the computer the whole time. I'll play it in my house. I listen to the music. I pop back and forth every now and then just to make a couple of comments. And I listen to the music myself. But yesterday, I realized as I was broadcasting my music shows, they were limited to 2 hours. I normally have 3-hour shows. So 2 hours. Is that happening?
No, it is happening now.
Huh. So
I didn't realize they limited to 2 hours.
I mean, most of my talk shows don't go
Hey,
over
Frankie.
2 hours. Hey, Frankie, what's up, man? So it happened to you also. See, right now I'm in an hour and 20 minutes in this show. I'm almost kind of curious to see if the show gets cut off at 2 hours because I used to have 3 hours.
It's going to be.
Now I'm getting shut off at 2 hours. Yeah.
So you probably need to watch the timer on the Podbean clock because we were used to be limited to like 3 hours, but
right.
And then when Ralph hit the 300,000 live engagement point, it was his understanding that he could broadcast up to 5 hours nonstop. But I mean, I don't know whether he's attempted to go that far, or if everybody's being shortened to 2 hours, or if Podbean's just doing that because they're trying to make money, in some way by shortchanging us.
I'm just not interesting enough to speak for over 2 hours. I run out of things to say. That amount of time.
I remember, of course, Rick, who we commonly see in Milk Dog Show a lot. He was on Frankie D's show on Friday, and he talked about how the reason him having 9 different Podbean accounts is he would go in and troll the church shows and call them out, telling them like what a bunch of frauds they are, and them church shows, like when you go in there to troll them and call them frauds, they're really very quick with the block button.
Right.
And the thing about it, if you get blocked by 3 shows in 1 week, Podbean puts you in Podbean jail for a full 7 days.
Oh, do they really? That hasn't happened to me yet, so that's good, I guess. I haven't been that far yet. But see,
I've not had that unfortunate experience, but I mean, I know plenty of people who have.
I like when I go into some of the African religious shows, and of course, they come in as the John DiVito show, and they do their thing when you come in with they're like, blah, 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 the John DiVito show, blah, 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 and they do I don't know what it is. It's like a chant almost. They do, and that's kind of funny.
Hey, man, chill out. I'm sorry. Thanks. You got to go.
Oh man. I'll tell you, there are a lot of good shows on Podbean. I mean, Frankie D's in the house right now. And, hey, everybody, remember Frankie D. He may be the young guy now, but you watch for him in the future. You're going to see Frankie D doing big things in his broadcasting career because he's talented. He's a young guy. He's funny as hell, and he's got a future in radio. For me, I'm just an old man.
Homeboy 88 is here.
Oh, no, Homeboy's here. Look out. Now shit's about to hit the fan. We got Homeboy 88 in the studio, and it's a Sunday, so now none of us have any chance of going to heaven now that Homeboy 88 has entered the show, because things are all going to go to hell now.
Don't know if Boogie left us or not.
Yeah, maybe that's all right. People pop in and out. The good thing
unless it kicked him out or something.
Homeboy's calling in. Look out! Things are about to hit the fan now.
Oh yes.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Well, I just wanted to check in and say, well, first of all, is this rated PG, PG-13, or rated R?
Fuck.
It's explicit. I can verify just to be.
Okay.
You don't have the explicit mark on this, unfortunately.
So then I could say, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
Not too much, my brother. What's happening with you?
Welcome back, Boogie.
In fucking California.
In California, the home of the city of the Crips and the Bloods. Oops, did I say that out loud? Hey, I gotta say this. No, it's great, man. Great day. I'm actually gonna go to Starbucks and get a couple of things right now.
Nice.
But I don't understand the obsession with Starbucks like with some people. Jesus Christ, it ain't that fucking good.
Here's them. The slightly serious Starbucks.
Starbucks is delicious, by the way. Fucking one of the best cold drinks I've ever had in my life.
Where, at Starbucks?
Yeah, damn straight. I
just got done with a good cup of Black Rifle coffee that the old man sent me, and he also sent some Black Rifle coffee to Dina Joe as well.
Nice. That was nice of him.
Well, here's the thing. Starbucks, right? There's always like a line around the corner with the cars and shit, or line out the door. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, see, now, I don't know if you have these in California or if you have these in Georgia or Indiana. In New England, man, we're Dunkin' Donuts country. And
Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts, man. Now they're Dunkin'. It's a fucking stupid name change. It still pisses me off.
If you want to see restaurant stores with busy drive-through lines, you ought to check out Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Popeyes. My son loves Popeyes, so we go almost every time he goes to work. That's Matt. Dude, the fucking lines are so slow. We sit in the Popeyes line. I swear to God, it takes like 5 minutes for every customer. What the fuck are they doing in there? They cooking while we wait?
Everybody knows what everybody wants.
Right.
Did Popeye the Sailor Man like chicken? I thought he liked fish. Why did they call a chicken chain Popeyes?
I never understood that either.
The Popeyes originated out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
From Louisiana. I thought he was from Sweet Haven, bro.
I don't think those Popeyes are related.
Oh. Yeah, Popeye the Sailor Man, he was fucked up. I mean, he had the tattoo on his arm, those big forearms.
He always had to save Alma from Pluto.
Spinach.
Olive oil.
Canned spinach.
Olive oil was ugly as fuck, too. Yeah, she was fucking ugly, man.
As a kid, I loved Popeye the Sailor Man, the movie, with Robin Williams.
I saw that.
1980.
I had the record, and I knew every fucking song, dude.
You had the record?
I had the vinyl record, and I knew every stupid song on there.
I give you credit for admitting that.
Yeah, that's 100. That is freaking support, dude. The clap. That's.
I don't know. So it's interesting to hear, though. I heard that Frankie D came in a little while ago. Homeboy, I don't know if you've done any shows lately, but I found out yesterday I'm getting shut off at 2 hours now. It used to be 3 hours. I got shut off at 2 hours yesterday. I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes now. I'm not sure. I kind of want to stay the extra 30 minutes and see if I get canned again at 2 hours. But it used to be a 3 hour limit on Podbean. I'm not sure why they would limit the shows to 2 hours now. It makes no sense to me, So now, Homeboy, you must be happy that the busy season of Christmas is over, right? That had to be a fucking nightmare delivering all the shit you were delivering this year. No?
What is he, fucking Santa Claus?
He is.
Homeboy's a delivery driver.
He's a delivery driver. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing? Good to see you. We got Chris in the studio. We had a show with him last Saturday night, man. Chris is the fucking man. He's a hero, a badass, a father of two, and just a great guy. Good to have you back on the show. Plus, he gave me a couple of golden mic tips. I don't get too many of those, so that was pretty impressive. Thank you for the big. you see what happened with my show yesterday? I was just talking about this. Podbean in the past has had a 3-hour limit for shows. They're ending my shows at 2 hours now. So my show ended right in the middle of a song yesterday. I was kind of off. It just shut down at the 2-hour limit.
2 hours?
Kind of fucked up.
Why 2 hours? Did you ask Podbean why they?
Maybe they realized that I'm not entertaining enough to speak for 3 hours, so they cut me off at 2 hours to relieve all the people that come in.
You're like drunken shenanigans show.
Monday
Was
Night
that
Raw
great?
when they're doing 3 hours on Monday Night Raw, and the fans were like, "This is bullshit. I don't want to watch a 3-hour Monday Night Raw," so they cut it back down to 2.
I took my kids to our Monday Night Raw that was filmed in Massachusetts. Holy fuck, it went on forever. And when you go to Monday Night Raw, you have to live through the commercial breaks. So in the commercial break, there's nothing going on. You fucking sit there. And who are those guys? Who are the pancake guys? I can't remember who the fuck they were. They come in, they're like, "We love pancakes," and all the fans were singing this fucking stupid thing. And I'm like, wrestling is gone downhill, man. This is so. They were throwing pancakes to be like fake pancake frisbees to people during the show.
I stopped watching.
You're fucking kidding me.
I stopped watching.
It was so fucking stupid.
Like in 2003, like completely. I stopped watching professional wrestling in 2003 and switched over to the UFC. Nice. I needed something with some balls. And after ECW ended, I don't know if you guys ever watched Extreme Championship Wrestling. I needed something with some nuts. Oh, yeah. So I switched over to the UFC. And by the way, John, did you see that fight on ABC last
No, what fight? I didn't see it.
Wow, you missed it.
What did I miss? Tell me about it.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to mute myself. I'll tell you right now.
Right. Dead air. Silence. Always good for radio. Do we lose Boogie again? It looks like Boogie keeps getting bumped out. Oh, he's back again. Yeah, Boogeyman keeps getting canned. Hey, Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
You know, buddy, I'm not booting you out, so I'm not sure what Podbean's doing to you. They keep kicking you out. Right?
No, I get it. We're good. I'm sorry. No, continue.
Yeah, wrestling. I think the last time I actually focused on wrestling at all was back when they had the WCW and the WWF. You had Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Since I was a kid, I've always loved wrestling. You know, for me, I mean, I know
the Monday Night Wars.
It's fun to watch, you know.
During the Monday Night Wars,
two governors
and a movie, man, exploded. Yeah. And coming up on the Homeboy 88 podcast, I'm going to do a 3-part series on the Monday Night.
Are you really? When's that? I always miss your fucking show. When are you on? I always miss it.
I'm never on, bro.
You just pop up.
No, it's like me.
I record,
it's like drunken shenanigans that happens.
I record on Zoom with my buddies, and I have all the music, and it sounds CD quality. Nice. There's no echo. There's no nothing, none of that bullshit. Podbean, you can go fuck yourself.
Well, I think that's what happens with my show. There's some fucking guy in the Podbean studio that sees the John DeVito show approaching 2 hours, and he's just like, this motherfucker is so fucking boring. Hit the fucking button, kill, boom, he's gone. Just fucking dump him.
Mercy rule.
Exactly. Like, remember the old days? They'd show, like, people would be up doing a stand-up comedy act, and the big hook would come on stage and pull off the stage. Oh. This is like the digital hook. They just fucking hit the button, and I'm gone. This guy sucks.
No, maybe they just switched it to 2 hours. They're like, well, wait a minute. Does that mean that Milk Dog's going to have, like, 15 little separate shows?
Dude, Milk Dog is a fucking beast, man. That guy's on all day. He just goes from one to the other.
I like that guy.
He's going to go like
funny
this.
Shit.
Oh, everybody.
It's like RW.
The 2 hour.
Coffee Talk with RW at 6 a.m.
RW is awesome. Ralph Williams is the fucking man. I mean, you know, I was looking at RW's profile, Ralph Williams' profile, and I guess he's been for 20 years. So I'm not sure if he was a.
That's his initials.
Yeah. So, he's so good. He's so fucking funny. I mean, he's been on podcasts for 4 years now, and he's got like just crazy numbers. But he's funny. He's good, you know. Eric, I think one of the first times I ever heard Eric was on the Ralph Williams show. Ralph.
Oh,
I mean, Ralph.
That was back in April, a long time ago.
Please, John,
fucking Eric.
Don't abbreviate like these young kids. Everything's a fucking abbreviation. IDGAF. I don't give a fuck.
I can't do that, man. I mean, how hard is it to fucking figure things out? The abbreviation war with me. You know, back when you guys probably remember back when there was Dairy Queen. Why the fuck did you have to make a DQ? DQ is fucking stupid.
Yeah. They quit giving you fucking gravy
Fucking stupid.
with your
Hey.
fucking.
Hey,
Yeah.
I dare you to start this. Hey, I'm gonna go on the PB soon. On the PB. What the fuck is that? Peanut butter? No, Podbean. I'm gonna go on
PB.
Podbean soon. The
PB, man. Hey, I'm doing my show on PB. If you don't know what that is, you're a fucking dummy. You know, I'm on PB, man. You hear my show live on
If
PB.
you don't know what that is, you're old as fuck.
Oh my God. Hey, Yasmeen.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yasmeen. You know, when I see the name
Well,
Yasmeen,
John, before I go,
does anyone remember Baywatch with Yasmeen Bleeth? Oh my God. Yeah, she.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Yeah,
Mighty.
I won't mention the amount of times that I quote unquote thought about her.
oh Jesus.
Yeah, one of those things where I'm on the beach in California, I'm laying on my blanket, Pamela Anderson and Yasmeen Bleeth over me.
Jesus
Hey, sun lotion on your back, young man? Yes, I do. Could you help?
You were in the shower.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Running in John DeVito's running in slow motion too.
oh, you don't want to see that, man. Hairy moves bouncing, you know. Sorry to give you that visual.
Hey, I gotta go, everybody. I just popped in.
All right, my
Popped
brother.
out, you know, say hello, say what's up to some of my favorite people on the PB.
I agree, my brother. Man, you are one of my favorites on TV, especially when you come in.
I miss peanut butter.
Homeboy, one thing I wanted to, you know, I don't know if you have any relation. I know that you know Mike Tyson, you know Michael Jackson. It's Sunday.
Mike Tyson.
I was hoping to get a call from God since it is Sunday. If you happen to know God and let him know that, let him call in. You know, have him call in my show. I'd love to hear from God if possible. I have some questions.
Or Jesus.
I have some questions.
Hey, if Homeboy wants to leave with the best song, he's got Boogie, Erik, and John's names to sing. Right, John?
Now, if I do that, I got to make sure my mom doesn't hear that because she'll disown me.
Now, yo, boy, tell you what. We're going to be down here.
Moly.
Yasmeen, give me
Around somewhere.
Wow.
Who's the other person I want to say hi to? She's probably gone by now. I saw another girl pop in. I liked her name. Where is she? Oh, look at that name. I still like the girl. Kath, how do you say that? Karthik?
I got to go feed my jackals.
You got to go feed your jackals.
I got to go feed my jackals.
Oh, yeah. A little while ago, I was kind of thinking about jackals when I was talking about Pam Anderson and Yasmeen Bleeth.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus. Not Jesus.
Jesus. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Jesucristo.
Jesus.
All right, man.
Oh, man.
That
See you
dude,
later.
I met a guy named Jesus. He fucking helped me learn how to separate silverware.
What the
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Welcome, Jill from Idaho.
This is why PB shut me off at 2 hours.
I don't know why that's funny, but that's funny, bro.
Oh, see, I'm Jill from Idaho. Nice, Idaho. I've never been to Idaho
Holy
before.
shit, man.
Hey, welcome
I've heard-
from Idaho. Hey, I got to ask you a question, Joe, real quick. I saw a few stories on the internet about the internet service provider in Idaho shutting down Facebook and Twitter. Is that true? Did that really happen? I'm just kind of curious if that really happened in Idaho. I've seen a few stories about that. So it's kind of cool. Hey, homeboy, man, thanks for stopping in. And again, like I said, if you know Jesus or God, have him call in. We'd love to hear from him. I have some questions.
Yeah, but don't. If I do that bit, you can't associate Homeboy 88.
Oh, of course not. Not at all. I would never. It would be literally.
All right.
Okay. All right, later,
Thanks for
man.
stopping in, man.
Oh, wait,
What's
hold
up?
on. Goodbye.
This is adios mio.
Goodbye, Erik. Goodbye, John. We're glad you're with us. See ya.
See you, Homeboy. Yeah, he did his best song
Now,
for us.
okay, everyone, hold on. Now, look at Yasmeen down below. She said, I can't realize which sound belongs to which person, but one of you has a cute sound. Now, which one of us has a cute sound? Now, that was the person that was just singing was Homeboy.
That'd be Erik.
Now,
Homeboy was singing just now, but I'm just talking.
see, I'm sure Homeboy maybe was cute, but John DeVito is the one that has the sexy voice, I imagine, right? So when you're talking about all of us, John DeVito is sexy. Boogie is just an absolute stud. And then we have Erik, of course, who is the brains and the heart of Podbean. Yeah. So it could be maybe he's cute, too.
Sure. Damn right.
Man, I'll tell you, I like the name Yasmeen. She's got me. She had me at Yasmeen.
Whoa.
Thank you, Frankie.
Erik is adorable. Now, you know what I'd like to see? Now, I was a big fan of the Jersey Shore, back when it was on MTV. And now
Oh,
they have a
no.
reboot
No.
of the Jersey Shore, and they're all like 75 years old. But I want to see Frankie D in the next installment of the Jersey Shore. I want to see him down there, fist pumping, heading to the smooch room with different girls, and I can then live my old single life vicariously through Frankie D, because I'm an old fuck that's been married for 20 years now, and that is what it is. But I can see Frankie D being the star of the next new version of the Jersey Shore. What do you think?
I mean, I think he'd be great at it, because I think he'd bring a lot of energy to that franchise.
I do, absolutely. And Boogie is back, man. They keep booting your ass. What's up, Boogie Nights?
I don't know what's going on. Pop Bean hates
wait a minute
me.
now.
I mean, do you have an app update available for your device?
I'll answer that question.
I don't know if it might be needing updated.
All that noise.
Now,
That could be the issue.
hold on one second, guys. I got to address this now. Yasmeen, I have to ask you before I answer any more questions. Are you a male or a female? I need to know that question. Because
I'm a male.
How old are you? And I kind of envision that coming from like the female voice going, John, how old are you? So that's kind of a deep voice. I can't do a high voice. So that's the best girl voice I can do. I have it naturally. So you have to tell me first if you're male or female. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Because now if you're Seinfeld fans, I'm not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Seinfeld comment, but it's just not my thing. And like I said, I wish I was gay, because then I'd have double the wardrobe if I could find a man my size to live with. But unfortunately, that was not in the cards for me. But Yasmeen, how old are you? You're female. All right. I think I want to explore this whole conversation. So before I tell you how old you are, see, I'm kind of teasing now and holding that information out from you. Where do you live? Do you live anywhere close? You are seeking an American boyfriend. Now, how old are you? I have to ask, because I have to make sure I'm not engaging in any Epstein Island behavior here before I ask you more questions.
Hey, whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
Let's see.
You got to make sure they've been vaccinated.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So you see here, Yasmeen is saying she is seeking to an American boyfriend. So now, Boogie Nights, are you married? Are you single? What's your deal?
No, I'm not single.
Maybe we could hook you up then, because unfortunately, while Yasmeen seems like a fetching young woman, I am a married man, unfortunately, and my wife would probably cut my penis off if I explored this.
No, trust me. It's just scary. It's just, I'm not in between, but in a relationship.
Okay, you're in a relationship. So how long have you been in this relationship for? And Yasmeen, if you want to call in. I want to talk to you. So call in, Yasmeen. Go ahead, Boogie.
I just called you.
No, I was saying to Yasmeen. I want to have Yasmeen call in and talk to you.
Yeah, you gotcha. Oh.
So how long have you been in your relationship?
Somebody's gonna yell at me. That's all that's all I know about it.
Yasmeen is back. She entered the live studio, so she must have left and came back. Okay, you're 26. Why don't you call into the show? I'd like to talk to you. So why don't you call in and we'll explore maybe your need for an American boyfriend or your want for an American boyfriend.
Oh, hey.
You want to hear what you're looking for. Maybe we can help you.
Not allowed.
Right? Maybe we can help her.
It's
26.
Well, we can import versus export.
26 is a good age. It really is. Now, Yasmeen, do you like?
I miss 26.
So she's traveling to Vancouver.
Vancouver, Canada.
Now, Yasmeen, I have a question for you as you're typing into the chat. Now, do you like older bald men by any chance? Not to say that older
They beat
bald
my
men.
fat ass.
No, your English is just fine. I'm liking it. It's just fine. You're doing a great job with your English, without a doubt. So I have to ask you the question. Do you like older bald men? If so, you and I might be a love connection, despite the fact I have a wife. That's kind of the problem.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Me too.
Who we got calling in here?
Despite the fact.
Bacon Pro. I like that name. Bacon Pro. Welcome to the show. What's up?
Welcome.
What's up?
Listen to that voice, man. That's a fucking
just looking for something to go with my bacon.
Bacon?
Like a fat bald man. Do you know any fat bald men that go with bacon?
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights? Oh.
No, hold on. I'm going back to Yasmeen. She needs a polite boy or a polite man, and she says she's a teacher. So now, Yasmeen, you're 26 years old. You're a teacher. You're looking for an American man. Is there anything you could teach me? I'm very polite. I can be polite, but I'm looking to learn. I'm a learning person. So what could you teach me? You're an animation director. Oh, nice. So you're going to Vancouver.
Oh my!
Are you looking to get into? Yeah, are you looking to get into
street rap?
You're looking to get into the movie business? Because I know Vancouver has kind of like. Oh, let's see. I want to click on Yasmeen.
Red now.
Oh, now if all of you, I'm not sure what I'm seeing in Yasmeen's picture. I don't know if that's Yasmeen. I think I might see. It could be Jesus. I'm not sure. I have bad eyes. I can't tell.
It's a woman like outdoors, like there are trees behind her.
She looks pretty damn hot. So very attractive, Yasmeen. And I think you basically had me at Yasmeen. When I saw your name, you would run me over. So I'm ready for you. Whenever you want to come to Boston,
you speak.
I'm ready to meet you. So of course I have to get approval from my wife. She may say no. I'm not sure if she's going to approve me meeting. I don't know if she's going to let me meet a young 26-year-old attractive woman looking for an American boyfriend. But if she allows it, then I'll be there. I promise you. So Bacon, what's your story, man? Where are you from?
Where am I from? I'm from the pork belly.
You're from the pork belly?
You got two things. You got the pork belly, and then you got the high on the hog. And that's the Canadian. And I'm not from Canada. I'm from the U.S., man.
Nice. So Bacon.
Yeah, we're on the underbelly of society right now.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because you got Boogie Nights right here on the show. I am a butcher, and you're not talking shit. He is
Are you
correct.
a butcher?
That's where
You're a
Bacon
butcher,
comes
huh?
from.
Nice. Lady
Boogie
welcome.
the Butcher.
Okay.
Right, I'm the candlestick maker.
The name.
Okay, I see Yasmeen.
Yasmeen
is still looking for us to find someone. All right, I want to make it out there. For anybody listening to the live right now, we've got Yasmeen on. She's 26 years old. She's looking for an American boy, an American man. We got Frankie D in here. Frankie D is a handsome young man. And if I remember correctly, Frankie D is single. So we could have maybe a little love connection between Yasmeen and Frankie D in the show. So now, Yasmeen, you need to look for the Frankie D show. He broadcasts, I think, most afternoons during the week here in the United States.
Wednesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
So I'm thinking maybe, Yasmeen, Frankie D may be your man. And I know he's a handsome young man.
I missed Love Connection.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I always, who was the guy that ran that? What was his name? Fucking
Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Willard.
Willery.
Chuck Willery.
Right, so this is John DeVito's dating show. I'm going to be Chuck Willery here. Okay, let's see. Frankie D. with Milk Dog. I don't know.
Milk Dog's here?
He hates me.
Does Milk Dog hate you?
Hey, dog. I don't know you. I don't know you. You're not coming on the show.
Now, going way back, you know how Milk Dog is name, right? Milk Dog 2020.
I'm like, come on, Milk.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, dog.
Yeah, back in the day,
hey, dog.
I actually started a campaign where I wanted Milk Dog to run for president. So I started the campaign.
No, this is Moss 2028.
What's that?
I got my own.
Yeah.
I'm running for
You're
president.
going to run for president? Give me a platform. I want to hear it.
I'm running for everything.
I like it.
I'm running for everything, every office.
Nice.
It's going to be like Brewster's Millions. I'm going to be running the Don't Vote for Me campaign. But I'm just going to spread my views on everyone, and they're going to have to listen to it.
Well, you know what? I don't think you or anybody else on this panel could do any worse than the rest of these ass clowns we have in office right now. I mean, what a bunch of fucking morons that we have running this country on both sides. I think.
I know. I run the country.
You run good. That's not. I don't think you do. Because you're a lot more coherent than Joe Biden, so you can't be Joe Biden. You actually speak in complete sentences.
I got a stuttering problem. I got a stuttering problem, just like Biden. If it was your mother, your grandfather, your son, your daughter get hit with a pipe.
I'm sorry.
It says the same thing over and over again. It's crazy.
You see that one clip where I think he meant to say he learned a lot of things at the kitchen table, and he said, as a kitchen table, and he went into his thing. I mean, fucking poor Joe, man. Joe Biden right now is waking up. someone is feeding him pureed cereal, someone is changing his Depends diaper, and they're telling him at sometime this morning he actually has to make a speech. You know that Joe Biden doesn't know what the fuck's going on. The man, and I don't say this politically. Oh, no. My father has dementia. My father is 80 years old. He has dementia. He no longer drives. He lives in his house. He still communicates better than Joe Biden does. Honest to God. You know, Joe,
right.
I mean,
Biden blames it on stuttering. I'm like, I used to stutter. You know, 48 years of speech making. You think he would be a little better at it?
Well, that's
I got rid of most of my speech impediments.
You know what I think?
I got other impediments, but not the speech.
Yeah.
All right, who's peeing?
Who is that?
That's Boogie.
You got a good logo in there, man. You may have to move to Cameroon. And for those of you that don't know what it is, we were talking about the countries that have the largest penis sizes earlier in the show, and Cameroon is ranked number 1 with an average of 7.5 inches. Now, if I lived in Cameroon, I would probably bring that average up a little bit. But, you know, hey, that's still a pretty decent size. But we did find out also that the country with...
Are you talking about shoe size?
No, we're talking penis size, man.
No, it's
we're talking dick size.
It's called wiener.
Yeah.
Wiener, all beef drinks.
And now I did see also that North Korea has the average penis size of 3.8 inches, and it gives them the smallest penis sizes in the world. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to retire. If anything happens to my wife, I'm going to retire, and I'm going to move to North Korea. I'm going to be a god in North Korea. Whatever I'm talking, if the average is 3.8 inches, I'm going to be a fucking monster over there, you know? Oh, man.
North Korea, then you won't get it.
So, now, Bacon, when you're serious about saying you had speech impediments, I mean, you have a great voice, and I don't hear anything.
It's a lot of practice.
Did you stutter actually when you were younger and whatever else?
I still stutter.
Well, I hate to be
stutter
dick,
now, because I'm getting a little nervous, Yeah, I got all types of speech problems.
You got a great voice, though.
It's practice, a lot of practice, and a lot of faking. Like I make a slur. You're like, what?
All right, I see Yasmeen. Or she has a question.
Anyway, I'm exaggerating now.
My love connection. Yasmeen.
I gotta get a microphone. I got earbuds.
I hate.
And I walk around. I try to find the best place that I could get a sound. And now you're gonna mute me.
I'm not gonna mute you. Not me, man. So sometimes I do my shows with the earbuds. I fucking hate using earbuds. I like being in front of my microphone. I'm a lot more comfortable this way. My show is not as good. Not that it's good when I do it from a microphone, but it's worse when I have earbuds in. But I got to go back to Yasmeen. I'm kind of obsessed with her. I see if you could change something in your life, what was it? So that would be, what would it be? If I could change one thing in my life, what would it be? I don't know. That's a good question. How about Erik, Boogie, or Bacon? What would you change about your life if you could, if you have anything?
I wouldn't change anything.
Nice.
I'm the man I am.
I've made.
Well, go ahead. I know as much as anybody I think would like to change things about their lives, the only consequence about changing something about your life is you risk creating what could be called the butterfly effect. But at the same time, I can't imagine people saying that they were satisfied with their lives.
I agree with Erik on that.
All right, Yasmeen, I'll tell you what I would
100%.
change. I've been waiting to go because I've got my answer ready to go. If I could change anything in my life, this is what I would do. And this wouldn't be a permanent change. This would be just a temporary change, maybe for today. Right now, I'm in my dining room wearing shorts, broadcasting on Podbean. It's 27 degrees outside. I'm freezing my ass off. What I would do for today alone is I would trade in this podcast to be somewhere on the beach with you, with me wearing a lot of clothes and you being nude. So that's probably what I would do. So if I could change anything, then I would be
Bora Bora.
Bora Bora. There we go. We would be in a nude beach, and I've seen myself naked. So trust me when I tell you, it's best if I cover up. You'd thank me for that. Trust me when I tell you, that's doing you a solid.
Give yourself the clap.
I'm going to give everybody a warning. It's an hour and 52 minutes. Yesterday, I was shut off at 2 hours. So this show just may end. And if it does, I apologize. I'm not ending it. So if it ends at 2 hours, fuck PB.
No, I'm waiting
to see what happens. So
I'm going to take a guess that you're on the beach in Bora Bora. You're going to be about as greasy as bacon.
Pretty much, dude.
bacon on this pig over here, you know?
Well, I'll tell you, I give any woman that's able to go to the beach with me. I mean, talk about being fortunate on your end. I'm a an older bald man. I'm hairy, so you get to rub that sunscreen on my hairy boobs and chest. And again, whether or not I've shaved my back, you get to also make that same call on my hairy back as well. So definitely a young woman who's looking for a great experience on the beach in Bora Bora. And I think she may have left. I may have made her throw up in her mouth, so I apologize, Yasmeen, if I gross you out. My bad. But if you're looking for a love connection on Podbean, you may want to rethink that choice also, and look at like a reputable site like Tinder or something like that. And
or eHarmony.
I'll tell you, man, Tinder. What the fuck? Why wasn't that around when I was young and single? I mean, do you know how hard I used to have to try to get laid back in the day when I was single? I mean, you'd have to go to a bar, you'd have to buy drinks, you'd have to friggin' approach 30 girls. They'd all tell you to fuck off until you finally got one girl late night who was drunk enough to allow you to take her home. Today, you log on to Tinder, you fucking swipe right, you're getting laid. I mean, you younger generation, millennials, all of you, you're fucking spoiled. I mean, back in the day, you had to work for this shit, I don't know.
Wait a minute. They have something that you could just swipe? You can swipe?
You can swipe?
Yeah, it's called
Tinder.
You can swipe and you get...
Pretty much.
Oh, never mind.
Have you not seen this? Have you not seen Tinder?
Wow.
It's technology.
Yeah, no, Tinder, literally, it's an app. If you're truly not aware of what it is, it's an app.
No, I know what it is.
Yeah, all right, that's what I figured.
I don't want to use up valuable time. I was just
my 18-year-old son has his Tinder account, and I will occasionally pop on and take a look. And you got some pretty good-looking young women who are looking to get laid, and times have changed. Oh, Frankie D.
But they're okay.
But Frankie, I mean, for me, I look at a guy like you, and I realize you're living the dream that I always wanted to live, where it was just easy to get laid. I mean, back in the day, women wouldn't give it up as much as they do today, and you had to fucking work for it and fight for it. Today, it's there for you, the younger generation, and I'm so happy that you can just swipe in a certain direction, and next thing you know, you're naked with somebody. That was a dream I had. Kind of like tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King had a dream. I wanted a dream also where I could get laid anytime I wanted to, and now it's possible for the younger generation. God bless all of you. I'm very happy.
Don't say the MLK speech because don't say the MLK speech because Martin Luther King's family has the rights to that. You have to.
Do you really?
Royalty?
Yeah,
wow.
I was actually going to read that off tomorrow. I was going to do a show tomorrow and read off the Martin Luther King speech.
Guess
like
what?
$35, $50 if you want.
Fuck! I didn't know you had to do that. I'm glad you told me.
Just for this.
He's got the rights to it. He's like, where do I sign, Barry Gordy?
All right, we're at 156. Eric, I'm going to let you do your thing now.
Yes.
Eric,
I think
fucking love you, Eric.
All right, but be sure to check out Boogie Nights on the Drunken Shenanigans podcast. He's on at impromptu times, of course. So if you want some laugh your ass off of humor and hopefully everybody will also check out Chuck and Billy's Not Your Cup of Tea every Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think they're working on getting Carlos Mencia on February 12th, which I think that show is going to be very lit. And I think they're working on getting Josh Blue as well as the comedy duo of Cheech and Chong.
Oh.
And
Cheech and Chong. That's amazing.
Yes. And also be on the lookout for the Ralph Williams podcast weekday mornings starting at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Chit Chat with the Old Man weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And on the Podbean daytime schedule, be on the lookout for John DiVito to do any scheduled lunchtime or late afternoon impromptu shows.
Tomorrow at 11:30, I will be on, and then probably a couple other times during the week. And I'm going to do some more weekend shows just because I have more time off during the weekends from work. But I will be on tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time in Boston. Yes. So join me, please.
Yeah, but Just Another Day in Paradise is another good Podbean daytime show. And also be on the lookout for Cummings' Culture and Wolf's Real Talk Radio to also do impromptu shows. And then Frankie D's Crib on Wednesdays and Fridays. And in case you missed it, Cracks will no longer be doing the Talking Corner podcast here on Podbean. However, she will focus more on her Exotics Radio venture over on Spotify. And we're hoping our good friends, yours truly and Mr. Impact, we'll convince her to join the VOP empire once that network is fully
Why
up
is
and
she
running.
leaving? That's a shame to hear. Why is she leaving Podbean? That's too bad.
I think, she just couldn't continue to afford to pay the hosting fee and not being able to do as much, potting on here. But we certainly wish her the best. And I messaged you on Discord, giving you her Discord handle so you can get in touch with her. I'm hoping we can try to convince her to at least come back on Podbean, to at least still visit her friends, and maybe even do a get to know your podcaster interview. And then the Slightly Serious Show is on weeknights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Trice Talk Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern. So that's tonight. And then on the weekends, it's Lyrical Laxatives and Tall Tales in the Rabbit Hole. And also over on VOP Empire, once the apps are up and ready, we will keep you posted. And we look forward to having you John, join the VOP Empire along with the Free Think Institute and Cummings' Culture and Wolf's Real Talk Radio, and yours truly and Slightly are also a part of that platform. But, hashtag repeal Section 230, hashtag free speech, of course, on that network.
And don't forget,
but we look forward
hashtag John DiVito is going to move to Cameroon because I belong there. So don't forget that one. Now listen, we're 30 seconds away from 2 hours.
Yeah. Love you and God bless you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I'm going to hang in here for 30 more seconds. I want to see if I get cut off. So hang in there. I want to see if I get cut off at 2 hours. So we're at an hour and 59 minutes.
I thought it was like 2 hours, 8 minutes.
I'm down. We got...
Let's see. We got 15 more seconds. If I get cut off, then obviously Podbean has changed the rules from 3 hours to 2 hours. I get 10, 9, 8,
100%. It's bullshit. I was sitting at my fucking Bread Clip studio.
2. Let's see what happens. And off. Cut off. Yeah, it just says each live stream is limited to 120 minutes. This session will end in 2 minutes. So it's now a 2 hour time limit on Podbean. So this show is going to be automatically.
That really sucks ass big time.
So all right, guys, I'm going to sign off.
Well, you just make a whole bunch of different accounts.
I know. That's fucking stupid. I could do part of these shows.
Or you'll probably have to wait 15, 20 minutes to start up another live. That way you're not getting kill switched in between.
You might want to spread the word, Eric, that Podbean, it looked like January 1st, changed everybody's podcast. It's in my same level. I have 3 stars.
Oh, and Robert's Mr. Clean Music Show and his brother, The Music Man. Be sure to check them out.
All right, everybody. Love you all.
And Lara's Communication Station.
See you later. See you now.
No, we got...
We gotta get some pancakes.
Pancake, I love pancakes.
Great hanging out with y'all, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, man. What's up, man?
Eric, love you, bro.
Man.
Well, we're out of time, of course.
Put it down there, man.